Welcome back, or welcome for the first time. Today, we're taking a slightly different approach, maybe zeroing in a bit more on the heart of what makes stories unforgettable.
Right. The characters.
Exactly. The characters, yeah, and the authors who bring them to life and, those powerful themes that just stick with you.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's kick things off in the world of detective fiction. It's a genre just ripe with unique protagonists.
Definitely.
First up, from Alexander McCall Smith's The #1 Ladies Detective Agency, we meet someone really quite unlike anyone else. Mema Precious Remotsway.
Ah, yes. Maramotsue.
What makes her so compelling,
Yeah.
beyond just solving mysteries? What's the secret there?
Well, what's fascinating here is that Maramotsue isn't just Botswana's first female detective. She's a character deeply, deeply rooted in her culture and her personal history.
Okay.
And the author, McCall Smith, uses this to brilliant effect. He paints her as traditionally built with this common insight into human foibles.
I like that description.
Yeah, she's imbued with this quiet wisdom, a gentle humor, and her character development is just inextricably tied to her nation's identity.
Right.
Driven by a deep sense of national pride, a duty to her people, we see her resilience too.
From her past?
Yes, forged from a brief and painful marriage,
Mm.
the loss of her child, and then she carves out this new professional identity.
And how she solves crimes is different too, isn't it?
Completely. Not through gritty realism or, cynicism. It's through observation, empathy, a profound understanding of human nature, often just by letting people tell their stories.
So it's that unique blend, her cultural grounding and that empathetic approach that really sets her apart.
Absolutely.
Does that gentle method ever, make her seem less effective? Or does Smith portray it as her unique strength?
Oh, it's absolutely her strength. Smith masterfully portrays her gentleness not as a weakness, no, but as a superior form of detection.
Interesting.
While other detectives might rely on forensics or confrontation, Ma Ramotswe builds trust. She observes subtle social cues, understands the underlying motivations in her community.
So her methods are kind of a quiet subversion of the typical detective.
Exactly. A quiet subversion, proving that profound human insight could be far more effective than brute force. It really speaks volumes about the author's vision for a different kind of heroism.
That's a really powerful contrast. Okay, shifting gears a bit. Victorian London, Y.S. Lee, in The Body at the Tower, gives us Mary Quinn.
Right.
And she's operating in an all-female detective unit. How does Lee use Mary's character to navigate not just mysteries, but her own complex world?
Mary Quinn is a particularly rich character, yeah, because she grapples with this profound internal conflict.
Okay.
And Lee weaves it into everything, into her investigations, her Chinese heritage, and how detached she feels from it.
Ah, right, identity.
Exactly. The author uses Mary's experiences to explore intricate themes of identity, class, romance, all within those rigid social structures of Victorian London.
So her journey isn't just about the case files.
Not all. It's a constant navigation of a biracial identity in a specific historical setting. She's often an outsider, both in British society and sort of estranged from her own ancestry. And her interactions, even a sizzling romance, reflect her struggles with belonging, with trust, self-acceptance, making her personal quest just as compelling as any crime she solves.
So Lee isn't just telling a mystery. She's using the genre to explore a very specific personal struggle for identity.
Precisely.
And how does operating within that all-female detective unit affect things? Does it complicate or maybe empower Mary's journey in that patriarchal era?
Oh, that's a crucial aspect of Lee's authorial choice. That unit, while it seems progressive for Victorian London, also creates its own set of pressures, internal and external.
Right, I can imagine.
Internally, it offers Mary a space of, well, relative empowerment, camaraderie maybe, a bit of a refuge.
Okay.
But externally, it highlights the immense obstacles women faced in professional roles. They were constantly under scrutiny.
Right.
So this environment actually amplifies Mary's need to prove herself, not just as a detective, but as an individual navigating these dual identities and societal prejudice. Lee uses that dynamic to reflect on broader questions, gender roles, professional ambition back then.
Fascinating stuff. Okay, moving to maybe a more classic take.
Right.
J.J. Merrick, who is actually John Creasy,
Right, the pseudonym.
he presents George Gideon in Gideon's Men, a detective fighting a London crime wave. What about Gideon and his men stands out, especially how the author portrays their challenges?
Well, with Gideon, the author isn't just giving us a straightforward police procedural. He's interweaving the character's personal problems with these broader societal issues.
Such as?
particularly illegal immigration and the conditions under which the immigrants are forced to live.
Okay, so very topical even then.
Very. Merrick uses Gideon as a lens, implying this critique, highlighting how societal problems often create the very conditions that lead to crime.
Hmm.
Gideon isn't just solving cases, he's confronting the moral ambiguities, the systemic failures of his time. He becomes a mirror for London's social complexities, a detective kind of burdened by the weight of a society in flux.
So it's not just the whodunit, but more like, why did society let this happen?
Exactly. That's a good way to put it.
What does that approach tell us about Merrick's view? Was detective fiction more than just entertainment for him?
Oh, absolutely. For Merrick, it's clear detective fiction is a vehicle for social commentary. By placing Gideon not just against individual criminals, but against this backdrop of poverty, desperation, systemic issues, he elevates the genre beyond simple escapism.
Yeah.
He implicitly argues that true justice needs you to address the root causes of crime, not just punish the perpetrators. It makes Gideon a more complex figure, almost tragic, aware that his battles are just symptoms of much larger societal ills.
A powerful and maybe sobering perspective on law enforcement's role.
Very much so.
Okay, and now for something completely different. The Visitant by Kathleen O'Neill Geer and W. Michael Geer. This one has a really unique backdrop.
Oh, yeah.
What's the authorial choice that makes this one stand out so much?
The Gears present a serial killer murder mystery, right? But it's set among the Anasazi peoples.
Wow, ancient history.
Exactly. And with dual timelines. The fascinating aspect here is that deliberate choice of a specific ancient cultural setting. It's rich with historical details, spiritual significance, and it's intertwined with a contemporary archaeological excavation happening hundreds of years later.
So the past literally influences the present investigation.
Profoundly. It shapes the character of the mystery itself. The crime isn't just who did it, but how the ancient past, its beliefs, its unresolved conflicts, how they echo through time to influence the present.
So the setting is almost a character itself.
It really is.
Yeah.
The authors use it that way, demonstrating how history and culture can frame even the most modern crimes. It urges you, the reader, to consider the long shadow of the past.
That sounds like a brilliant way to add depth. How does having those dual timelines specifically impact your connection as a reader to the characters and the investigation?
It creates this compelling layering effect. You're not just following the modern archaeologists, you're immersed in the daily lives, the beliefs, the struggles of the Anasazi.
You get both sides.
Yeah. And this allows the authors to draw parallels, contrasts between human nature across centuries. The character conflicts of the ancient people directly inform the contemporary investigation.
It makes the past feel incredibly present.
Exactly. It forces you to think about how historical events, cultural practices, leave these indelible marks, shaping not just environments, but also those enduring patterns of human behavior. It's a powerful narrative structure.
Yeah.
Really deepens our understanding of both the victims and the investigators.
Okay, let's unpack this into the realms of fantasy and science fiction. Paul Park's A Princess of Romania series seems like a great example. What does Park do with his characters and world that challenges our perceptions?
Right, so in Park's alternate world where magic works, and Romania is like a leading European power,
Okay.
the protagonist, Miranda Popescu, discovers her true royal identity. But it's way more complex than just a simple reveal.
How so?
Well, reviewers highlight Park's dreamlike style and characterizations, his ability to just upend everything you thought you knew about the fantasy novel. This whole exploration challenges Miranda's understanding, and ours too, frankly, of her entire world as potentially an illusion, an artifice.
Whoa.
It gradually reveals a supposed real world with magic and complex politics. And Park achieves this dreamlike style by subtly blurring the lines between Miranda's perceived reality and this magical real world.
How does he do that?
Through things like unreliable narration, shifting sensory details. It's a masterful use of magic, not just as a plot device, but as a narrative lens to question perception itself.
So identity and the nature of reality are central.
Absolutely. It's all about that.
So it's not just a reveal, but this ongoing deconstruction of reality for both the character and the reader.
Exactly.
How does that constant questioning of reality impact Miranda's personal journey, her sense of self?
Well, it creates a profound existential crisis for her. I mean, if the world you've always known is a construct, then who are you within that construct?
Right. Deep stuff.
Yeah. Her quest for her royal identity becomes less about lineage and more about grappling with fundamental truths, existence, agency, free will. Park uses her disorientation to make the reader question their own assumptions about narrative, truth, the nature of magic.
Forcing us to reevaluate what we think is real.
Precisely. And how that shapes our understanding of ourselves. It's a deep dive into self-discovery that resonates way beyond the fantasy setting.
And speaking of magic, T.A. Barron's Merlin Book 2, The Seven Songs, this takes us into the childhood of a legendary wizard.
Young Merlin.
What does Barron explore by focusing on Merlin's formative years? What's the authorial choice there?
Well, here Barron focuses on young Merlin's transformative quest. He has to master the 7 songs of wizardry to save his mother.
Okay, classic quest structure.
It is a classic character journey, yeah. Self-discovery, destiny. But what stands out is how Barron meticulously details the process of becoming powerful.
Rather than just showing him fully formed.
Exactly. We see the trials, the sacrifices, the moral dilemmas that forge his character. It's about understanding that even legendary figures are shaped by very human struggles and choices during their formative years.
Emphasizing that destiny is earned.
Yeah, often earned through immense personal growth.
It sounds like Barron is giving us a kind of hero's journey blueprint. How does showing the young Merlin's challenges deepen our appreciation for the legendary wizard we think we know?
Well, it adds incredible depth and relatability.
Right.
Instead of this mythical, almost untouchable figure, we see a boy wrestling with fear, doubt, the weight of huge responsibility. Barron humanizes him.
By showing vulnerability.
Yes, and the hard-won wisdom he gains from each challenge. This perspective helps us understand that even the greatest magic comes at a cost. And that true power isn't just in spells, it's in courage, perseverance, the will to protect those you love.
It transforms the legend into someone relatable, striving.
Beautifully put, yes.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Melissa Scott's Dream Ships, we're talking cyberpunk, but with a unique focus on characters that are, well, not quite human.
Right. Scott's earnest and involved cyberpunk. It really delves into profound questions of personhood and rights, specifically for artificial intelligence.
AI rights. Big topic now.
Huge. The author directly addresses ethical debates around the first sentient artificial intelligence, exploring what it means to be alive or conscious. But what's particularly compelling is how Scott draws these powerful parallels to existing political and racial tensions.
Ah, okay. Connecting it back.
Yeah, and the deprivation of rights that many of the local populace suffers under. She doesn't just ask abstract philosophical questions. She grounds them in real-world injustices.
Compelling you to consider what defines personhood.
Exactly. And who gets to decide that?
Yeah.
What are the societal implications of denying rights to any sentient being?
So Scott is using the sci-fi setting not just for futuristic fun, but as a critical mirror to contemporary social issues.
Absolutely. A critical mirror.
How does focusing on AI characters specifically help illuminate these themes of rights and prejudice?
Well, it provides a really powerful, maybe disarming metaphor.
How so?
By exploring these themes through non-human characters, Scott allows us to examine prejudice, systemic injustice from a fresh perspective. It kind of bypasses some of our inherent biases.
Interesting point.
If we can empathize with an AI striving for personhood, it challenges us to reevaluate our definitions of who deserves rights and respect in our own society.
Right.
The narrative technique forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about our own historical patterns of discrimination. Struggles.
Wow. Okay, let's look at Larry Niven's A Gift from Earth. This takes us to a dystopian colony world.
Classic Niven.
How does Niven use this pretty stark setting to explore character and themes?
Well, Niven creates this chillingly stark dystopian society where, get this, all crimes are punishable by death, followed by involuntary donation of the perpetrator's transplantable organs.
Oof, that's grim.
Incredibly grim. And this extreme social structure immediately establishes a super high-stakes environment for his characters.
Know that.
The Sons of Earth rebel against this system, embodying these classic themes. Class struggle, the ethics of power, the ultimate value of human life. Niven's writing doesn't just describe this world, it really critiques the societal implications of unchecked power, showing how extreme systems can push individuals to radical acts of defiance.
And fundamentally alter morality.
Exactly. Alter human morality itself.
That's an incredibly harsh system. How does Niven ensure that the characters in this world still feel human, relatable, even when facing such dehumanizing laws?
That's a great question. Despite the grim premise, Niven focuses on the very human reactions to that kind of oppression.
Like fear, despair.
Fear, despair, yes, but also this indomitable will to survive, to fight for basic dignity. The character's internal struggles, their difficult choices in the face of absolute power, that's what makes them relatable. He explores the psychological toll of living under such a regime, the moral compromises people are forced to make, creating this powerful commentary on the resilience of the human spirit.
Even when confronted with institutionalized barbarity.
Exactly. It's about how humanity persists, even when a system tries its hardest to strip it away.
Okay, moving into young adult and historical fiction. We often see characters in these really formative, challenging situations.
Right, defining moments.
Gordon Corman's Island trilogy immediately comes to mind. Talk about resilience.
Oh, absolutely. Corman throws 6 teenagers from a reform program into this extreme survival scenario, shipwrecked on a deserted island.
Wow, sink or swim, literally.
Literally, and this forces them to confront their character and forge new identities, totally outside of societal rules or supervision. The author brilliantly explores powerful themes. Survival, obviously, identity, trust. They have to draw upon their savvy and experience.
Which often comes from their troubled pasts, right?
Exactly. That's the interesting twist. They use those past experiences to overcome extreme adversity. This is resilience personified. It shows how even flawed characters can rise to the occasion.
Not just surviving physically, but transforming.
Emotionally, ethically, yes. Transforming.
So their past mistakes become unexpected strengths in this new, harsh environment. That's clever.
It is.
How does Corman avoid making them just, suddenly good kids by the end? Does he retain some of the complexity?
That's a key part of his skill, yeah. Corman doesn't portray their transformation as instantaneous or, complete.
Okay.
Their past behaviors, their distrust, their individual hang-ups, they often resurface. They create internal and external conflicts.
Makes the growth feel more authentic.
Right, authentic and hard-won. He shows that true change is messy, it's gradual. But that crucible of survival forces them to reevaluate their values, forge a new understanding of trust, community. It makes their journey far more compelling than just a simple redemption arc.
Yeah, much more real. Another fascinating YA character, Andromeda Klein from Frank Portman's novel.
Ah, Andromeda.
What makes her so memorable? And how does Portman make her uniqueness shine?
Well, Andromeda is portrayed as this awkward teen at the very bottom of the social totem pole. She's an ectomorphic and extremely introverted occult adept with physical challenges.
Quite the description.
Isn't it? Portman's authorial choice to just embrace her quirks fully, that's what makes her so memorable. He makes her sly, funny, odd. And he allows her to find her identity through obsessive self-tarot readings and this quest for acceptance.
So it's about finding your people.
Exactly. Andromeda is a celebration of finding people who accept you for who you are, rather than trying to fit in. Portman uses her distinct voice, her internal world, to show that different isn't just okay. It's actually a source of strength and unique perspective.
It sounds like Portman is offering kind of an anti-trope for YA protagonists.
You could say that, yeah.
How does her occult adept status serve her journey beyond just being, like, a quirky hobby?
Oh, it's central to her character and her quest. The occult isn't just a gimmick. It's Andromeda's primary coping mechanism. It's her chosen path for self-discovery.
Interesting.
Her tarot readings are how she processes the world, understands herself, searches for connection and meaning where she otherwise feels alienated.
Right.
Portman uses it as this vehicle for internal exploration, showing how a seemingly esoteric interest can be a profound tool for self-acceptance, for navigating the complexities of adolescence. It makes her journey relatable, even if you don't share her arcane passions.
That makes sense. Okay, James Michener's journey takes us back to the Klondike Gold Rush.
Right. Epic Michener.
What kind of characters does he depict, and what does their experience tell us about the human spirit?
Michener chronicles 5 men on this arduous journey through the treacherous Klondike. They're intentionally avoiding American territory.
Okay.
And they endure everything. Exploding ice floes, starvation, scurvy, swarming Arctic mosquitoes. Just a relentless onslaught.
Sounds brutal.
It is. Michener portrays their incredible collective resilience and survival against adversity, facing extreme hardship in their quest for gold. What stands out is how he crafts characters who represent just sheer grit and determination, not just to survive, but to push forward against overwhelming odds. It's a real testament to the human spirit's capacity for endurance.
And how shared struggle forges bonds.
Exactly. Forges unbreakable bonds and redefines priorities.
That sounds like a true test of character. How does Meishan make sure these men, despite that shared struggle, retain individual personalities, motivations?
Well, Meissner is known for his exhaustive research, right? His
Yeah.
ability to create this vivid sense of place and time. And he applies that to his characters, too.
Okay.
While they share that common goal, gold, he subtly reveals their individual pasts, their specific dreams, their personal weaknesses.
Ah, so they're not just a monolith.
No, not at all.
Mm.
These differences often lead to internal friction, moments of doubt, which Meissner uses to heighten the drama and make their collective resilience even more impressive. Their individual quirks and motivations just underscore that even in unity, personal identities remain. Makes their shared triumph, if they achieve it, all the more meaningful.
And in Wilbur Smith's Titans of War, we meet a spy named P.A. What does Smith highlight through P's character, especially in a land ravaged by long-term conflict?
Right. PA operates on a land just ravaged by war and devastation for over 50 years. So he's a product of sustained conflict.
Wow, 50 years.
Yeah. Smith showcases his unwavering determination and courage as PA seeks allies for Egypt. What's powerful here is how PA becomes a symbol of resilience, not just in a single battle, but in the face of generations of struggle. His character embodies the hope, the strategic thinking, the sheer grit required to rebuild a civilization after decades of upheaval. He's driven by this profound sense of duty, reflects the weight of history on his shoulders.
That's a unique take on a spy character tasked with rebuilding, not just intel gathering.
It really is.
How does Smith balance PA's personal spy skills with that broader, almost philosophical mission of resilience?
Smith skillfully intertwines the two. Pai's personal courage, his cunning as a spy, they're directly informed by his deep understanding of his devastated land and his people's suffering.
So they fuel each other.
Exactly. His spy missions aren't just political maneuverings, they're acts of faith in the future of his civilization. This elevates his character beyond a simple agent to a symbol of national will. The author uses his individual actions to reflect the collective trauma, the enduring spirit of a people striving for peace after generations of conflict. Makes his personal journey emblematic of a much larger struggle.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Christian fiction and memoirs. Here, authors often delve deep into the inner lives, the personal journeys of their characters, often with a spiritual dimension.
Right, exploring faith and struggle.
Karen Kingsbury's, a Kingsbury collection, compiles 3 Christian romance novels. What kind of journeys do her characters typically undertake?
Kingsbury's novels, like Where Yesterday Lives or On Every Side, they explore characters grappling with pretty universal human experiences, but through a lens of faith. They confront profound themes: faith, marriage, depression, religious freedom. The author's aim seems to be inspiring readers to, quote, live out our faith in a real, everyday, every moment way.
Emphasizing human connection.
Yes, and the struggle for personal beliefs within often challenging circumstances.
Yeah.
She crafts characters whose internal battles, whether against personal despair or societal pressures, reflect common spiritual and emotional challenges, offering perhaps solace and guidance.
So these are stories designed not just to entertain, but to resonate on a spiritual level.
That seems to be the intent, yes.
How does Kingsbury use the romance genre specifically to explore these deeper themes of faith and struggle?
Well, she uses the emotional intensity of romance to kind of amplify the character's spiritual and personal development.
Yep.
Love interests often serve as catalysts for growth. They challenge characters to confront their doubts, deepen their faith, find forgiveness. The relationships themselves become this proving ground for their beliefs. Themes like commitment, vulnerability, redemption, they're explored through the complexities of human connection.
So it's about how faith is lived out, strengthened within those intimate human experiences.
Precisely.
Now, Beverly Lewis, in The Missing, offers an Amish romance. How does Lewis use this specific cultural setting to shape her protagonist, Grace Byler, and her journey?
Right, Grace Byler. She's seeking her missing mother, uncovering deep family secrets. All while an Englisher friend faces a grave medical prognosis. Lewis meticulously creates a character driven by this personal quest, but her journey is profoundly intertwined with the unique fabric of Amish community life and values.
So the setting isn't just backdrop.
Not at all. It shapes Grace's decisions, her worldview, the very nature of the secret she uncovers. The author uses the close-knit traditional Amish world to explore themes of forgiveness, faith, the complexities of family relationships when faced with external challenges and hidden truths.
That cultural context must add a really unique layer to the mystery and the romance.
Definitely.
How does the contrast with her Englisher friend serve to highlight Grace's internal conflicts or the themes of the novel?
Yeah, the Englisher friend serves as this crucial foil. It allows Lewis to explore the subtle tensions and also connections between the Amish and English worlds.
Right.
This contrast highlights Grace's choices, her loyalty to her community, while also showing the universal nature of suffering and friendship that transcends cultural boundaries. It forces Grace to confront how her traditions inform her response to grief, illness. It enriches the emotional depth by showing how individual journeys are deeply intertwined with the larger community and even those outside it.
Okay, and finally, we have the author as the character, Pierre Berton's autobiographical memoir starting out.
Ah, yes, Bertolt.
What does Berton reveal about how environment and experience forge identity through his own story?
Bertolt's memoir covers his early life, 1920 to 1947. Focuses on his upbringing in the Yukon, his wartime experiences, early journalism career.
Mm-hmm.
Here, the author is the character. He offers us this direct, unvarnished insight into how environment and experience forge identity, resilience. He explicitly reflects a life shaped by, quote, hard work, hard conditions, hard living, and finally hard loving.
Wow, quite a summary of a life.
Isn't it? Burton's voice gives us intimate access to the personal crucible that shaped this renowned writer, demonstrating that the very qualities defining an individual are often hammered out in the challenges, the unique landscapes of their youth.
He uses his own journey to explore universal themes.
Exactly. Coming of age, finding one's purpose.
That's a powerful statement about the influence of early life. How does Burton's retrospective narration, looking back, offer a unique perspective on his own character development compared to, say, a fictional character's journey?
That's a key difference. The retrospective narration allows Burton to reflect on the significance of his experiences with the wisdom of hindsight.
Right. He knows how it turned out.
Exactly. He can connect the dots between his youthful struggles in the Yukon and the values that guided his later career, offering a deeper understanding of cause and effect in character formation. Unlike a fictional character where we infer motivations, Burton directly articulates how his environment instilled in him this tenacious work ethic, this profound appreciation for harsh beauty. It gives us direct insight into the forging of his intellectual and personal identity.
It's like a masterclass in self-analysis.
The power of memory, yeah.
Yeah. And that wraps up our deep dive into characters, authors, and themes. We really hope you've enjoyed this journey through the minds of literary creators and the unforgettable figures they've brought to life.
From Botswana's first female detective to sentient AI, Klondike gold rushers to awkward tarot-reading teens, maybe consider this. What does the immense variety in these stories and the unique ways authors choose to tell them? What does that tell you about the infinite forms our human experience can take, and the many ways we seek to understand ourselves through the characters we meet on the page?
Ooh, that is a provocative thought to mull over. A great place to leave it. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.
My pleasure.
Keep exploring, keep reading, and keep finding those remarkable characters who stay with you long after the final page. We'll catch you next time.